This is what we're starting with. 2 used Flowmaster knockoffs. Don't know what brand they are. There's no markings on them as what they are, just inlet and outlet. They're big, so we're going to use this. This is the chunk of pipe off of Junior's truck when we put the new Flowmaster on his, that we took the end pipe off. So we're going to use this for pieces to get up and over the hump, because I don't go under the tranny cross member. It just, I've seen it hit too many times. We're going to go up and over right next to the transmission, and we'll go straight on the passenger side, because there is a cutout for exhaust on the passenger side. So, but we have to go up and over, and I'm going to almost bet this section is what we're going to use to go up and over. Either that section or this section, one of the two. But this pipe and this pipe is the same size. But because I got this stuff for free from the neighbor, they put these smaller turn downs on them, which I don't think will hurt anything for a small block. But if we ever put a big block in Big Bamalam, we're going to have to hack those off and put a bigger outlet to let it breathe better. But this is what we got. This is what we're going to use. This is what we're going to do. Okay, so I use an old trick, and I use a piece of wire, and I bent it basically the path that I need. This is just a guide, all right? So what we could do is come around here, and we could find which one is closest. This one is pretty close, including to where it turns back around the other direction. So for the length and the bend that I need, that's pretty spot on. So I think we're going to cut this here, and we're going to cut it here where the mandrel bend starts, where it's nice and big. And we're going to use this section right here to go over the hump. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. All right, this is what I want to talk to you about, using a tape method. All right, see, this is how I got this cut. This nice square cut right here is by using that piece of tape. That you can use that tape as a guide, because I don't have a chop saw, I don't have a hacksaw, I have a cutoff wheel, and that's what I got to use. And that's how I made this cut. This nice straight cut is by using the tape method. You just use the tape as your guide. You put it on, and you use that as your guide, as your cut line. All right, instead of trying to trace and draw and things like that. It really works really well, and it'll get you damn close without even having a chop saw. So, all right, that is how you do that. So let's see if my guesstimation was about right on this piece. All right, now I got them both hung, both collectors hung. I'm going to set this right here. As you can see, there's collector here. This one right here. This is the driver's side, right? And I just got her in here loose, right? So here is my piece that I cut to go up and over and onto here, right? Except I got this backwards. I'm going to do like this. Just like this. Now you can see she's sticking out here, and she's onto the pipe here, and she's up and over the hump. All right, now I want a little bit of spacage about right there. That's what I want, okay, because I still got to come down. I don't want to rub this cross member. I don't want it, you know. So what I'm gonna do is, that is actually, that pipe is larger than the collector for the header, so that's a pretty good fit right there. I'm not unhappy with that. So we're just going to take a block right here, and we're going to put it up underneath here. Just like that for a spacer, so that I have, yep, I got fingers space here, and then I got the block underneath here, and then I can get her where I want to this way. Something about just like that. So that's pretty straight on from where the exhaust is. Maybe move it over a little bit, just like this. And that's kind of pretty much where, let me see, about phone, almost about phone width here. And it's going to be a little tighter on this side, but as you can see, you got a straight shot because of this hump in the cross member. So I can come out here, muffler, turn downs. All right, past the cab. Always past the cab. That way you ain't hurting yourself. So we're going to mark. I'm going to mark this with the Sharpie, this one, because this is where I want it. That's what I'm looking for. All right, you can just play with it. If you want to weld it on the bench, you can. You just got to mark it where you want it. So I could actually, to make it exactly like the other one, I could move it out this way, closer to the frame. And I'm not hurting anything. I think I like that idea better. And then we'll just mark it, some hash marks, and we can take it off and weld it up on the bench. It's marked. And you weld it that way, just like it's marked. Mark, A and A. All right. You can start tacking. Look, she's standing by herself. And that's what I'm looking for. So we'll get the welder out. We'll clean this up. We'll get the welder out. We'll get after it. Okay. Now, you can see I have everything lined up all the way around, all 4 spots that I did. All right, now, the thing about this is it's going to pull. As soon as I put a tack on, say, this side, it's going to try to pull this way. So as fast as I can, I might even have to use a hammer. Yep, there we go. It's going to hit. I need to come all the way around on this side to do this side, and then do here, flip it over and do there. And then weld it up. Got the settings right on the welder. There we go, got some wire. Here we go. All right. Probably should have ground this first. All right. There it goes. All right. And then yep, D's on the mark. All right. There we go. Okay. Now I got to do is now. I don't want to weld this all in one shot because there's nothing like in the muffler shop. They start from the top and they weld around. They start from the top, they weld around, which this is the top. No, this is the top actually. I just want to weld a little bit, flip it over, weld a little bit. I just want to move it around. I don't want to do it all at once. Matter of fact, I'm going to brush this. Now that I got it locked in, I'm going to brush it so it welds better. And you ain't got to get fancy schmancy with it. The wire wheel on a drill will do a great job. Good to go. All right, let's do some welding. Did you guys see where I messed up? But I got lucky. Thank goodness they make these things big. But it still fits. Good Lord. Talk about having everything sink. Lordy, lordy. Yep. I thought I'd really messed up. All right. Well, let's go ahead and put that back on there. Woo! Okay. All right, this is where we're sitting. Flange on flange. She's flush. She comes up over the hump. Plenty of room. Doesn't touch. Comes to here. She's got a little bit of a bend in her, but she's sitting back here pretty straight. Okay. She's just kind of like stuck in. We could basically do the same thing we did on the front flange, is just make marks and line it up. And then she's tucked up, as you can see, she's up underneath the body, so you ain't got to worry about rubbage. And that means I'll need to take a hanger here and do a self-tapper up in there on that cross to make a hanger for it, which hangers are easy, just a piece of metal. I don't know if I know I got some rubber stuff somewhere that I can use it for a, vibration. But it's in the bed, which means it's separated from the cab, which means you basically kind of won't feel it. And then it's just a matter of making the other side from that flange look about the same. So, I mean, on the frame, we ain't got no fitment issues. She ain't gonna rub. The cutout ain't gonna hang down very much. Matter of fact, nope. And I'm happy with that. So let's mark that, and we'll take it out. We'll weld that up, and then bring it back. And then the trick is matching the passenger side with the driver's side. But the passenger side is easy. It's just a straight pipe. And I got the setting on the floor jack with the board, making a hanger, make a couple of hangers, and we're good to go. If you want to do me a favor and you haven't done it yet, subscribe, please. For some reason now it used to not help, but now it helps. So I appreciate all the help if you can send it to me. Okay, we are definitely into the realm of built, not bought section. Okay, so I also figured out that this wasn't, it was held on with a clamp. It wasn't welded on, so I welded it on. Welded, and we're just going to slide it underneath and then measure for hanger length. And we'll take basically a C-clamp, one of these hanger clamps like this. We'll clean it up, and we'll put it on here, and we'll use one of that bolt as a hanger, and we'll just measure up however it needs to be off of the frame, and we'll use that as the hanger. Just one, because it's short. I mean, it's 4.5 foot long, so ain't going over the differential, ain't going out the back, so don't only need one hanger. She's up, and she's bolted up. I already got the gasket in there. I don't have it tight, but I have it bolted up, welded in, and she's sitting pretty much exactly where I wanted her to go. So this side is pretty much done. Now the trick is making the other side the same as this side across from here. So I'm going to have about a, I don't know, 18-inch, 24-inch section that I got to weld together. Other than that, yeah, we're right as rain. Okay. She's pretty straight. I had to add a piece of pipe on that one. This is the passenger side, along with the dump. And I did have to make a little bit of an adjustment right there. And unfortunately, I'm out of zinc covered or non-rusting pipe, so I had to take a piece of old exhaust that I already had. Now I'll clean it up and I'll paint it to try to protect it a little bit. She's going to be a little bit long for the collector. I did that on purpose, but this is what I had to do to get the exhaust tucked up underneath into the frame to make everything look right. So, or it'd be hanging. You know, it always bugs me to have hanging exhaust. So, but she's welded up, and I had to put some tacks over here because the clamps, all it was held together with was clamps. And now I got to let that cool. It's all welded up. Okay, day one is done. I've got her marked. I've got the spacing right. I've got my my spacing for my hangers. They're actually 8 inches off the frame. And I got to do some work on those. Drill some holes, bend some tabs, that sort of thing. But she's pretty close. I got to cut the end of that off. You can see it right there. Got to see that? Got to cut that off to make it match the header flange. And I'm dirty. And it's late. And I'm tired. Hey, if you're here and you're watching, smash the like button. Okay, we're on day 2. And we're going to start this back over again. Now, what I got here is I have the actual tailpipe. You can tell I did my welding and everything. Don't judge me. But come to find out, this pipe is a little bit bigger than this pipe. And this pipe will fit over the collector of the deal. And this is about where we need to go. So this pipe is the same size as the collector. So what I had 2 options. I'd take it to a muffler shop and have them give it a whoop, and charge me money, or go to O'Reilly's and borrow this. Now, how this system works, if you guys don't know, if there's a specific tool that you need, there's a pretty good chance that they'll rent it to you, okay? So this is a exhaust pipe expander. And the way it works is, as you twist it in, it gets bigger, all right? It actually squeezes you can see it's wedged. As you twist in, it gets bigger, okay? So what you do is you actually find it, is it about the right size? Yeah, it's about the right size. We need a little bit of grease. You got to use a little bit of grease on this, and then we'll just use a 3/4 wrench, and we'll just spin it. And here's my line. So basically, I want to go about right here and expand it about that much. All right, right there. That's all I need. About to the second band. Not even that much. So it'll slip over the collector so I can tack it, pull it back off, finish welding it, and then do hangers, and we're done. So let's see how well this works. Let's grease this up and see how it does. All right. I got a little bit of my favorite super lube on here. All right. And we're going to see if we can, nope, we got to back it back off. All right. So slip it in. Right. And I said about right there is where I want. All right. So we're going to take this. And see, it's already expanding. And we'll see what this does. If this actually works or not. I've never actually used one of these. So let's see if we can see this actually happen. All right. And we'll go slow-mo for you. Now it's flaring it on this side. I can tell it's flaring it, but it's not really doing the whole thing. Let's try putting it all the way in there. So it's got no place to go. And we might have to cheat a little bit. And you know what I mean by cheating a little bit. All right. Nope. Oof. Dirty. All right. Put that on there. Some of this on here. White grease. Get it all in there. All right. Let's try this again and see what happens. Now we got her lubed up. know. Not really. Nope. She flared a little bit on the end. That's it. Not enough. So I guess we could cut this thing. I did everything they said to do, and it didn't work. So that's a bust. Take it back dirty. Always wash it off. Well, that was a waste of time. And not worth the box to put in. Well, that sucked. But now we know. I've never used one of those before, but now I know that they don't really work. Okay, so, you know, it's either take it to the muffler shop or cut it and do what I got to do. So we're going to cut it and do what I got to do. Made my cut. Made my hangers. It's just hole on both sides, 8 inches off the frame. And just to make sure, I want to make sure that they fit. Yep, because that's what we're going to use to hang it. And basically it'll be on the back side like this and hung with the hanger and with the nut. That's what's going to hang the exhaust on the back side. Sorry, I'm out of frame. I don't care. I'm tired, you know. But this is all the fabricated stuff, so I'll throw some paint on this and let this be drying while I do all the rest of the stuff. Hey, if you're here and you're watching, smash that like button. All right, now, and this is just closed eye tacking, but for the cutting job that I did, I would say that's pretty good fitting right there. Just so marking it with a marker and scrolling it out. So we're going to weld this up. We're letting those dry. And I didn't forget. It's still there. All right. So let's get this welded up. Now, I want to explain something. I probably tacked that about 15 times before I started welding and covering over top of it, okay? So when you're dealing with a fitted piece and you want it to stay placed, if I was to just to like put 3 or 4 tacks on it and burn it in, it would have pulled and it would have broke tacks and it would have moved and it would have messed everything up, okay? So if you're going to do something like this, couple tacks, move it, couple tacks, move it, couple tacks, move it. The more tacks, the better. Basically, all I did was fill it in between tacks, which is the way you want to go. This will be spot on to where I wanted it. So, but heat creates movement when you're welding, when you do any of this stuff. Okay, so the more tacks, the better. Okay, all right. I'm gonna wait for that to dry. I'm gonna spin those hangers over and give them another coat of paint. Okay, I got her buttoned up, but I don't have the hangers on it. It's hanging just by the flanges on the manifolds, but they're turned up, so I haven't listened to it yet. So, and the reason the sound is wonky is because the microphones hate exhaust sounds and they wig out whenever you turn them on. So let's see what she sounds like. It's definitely quieter, that's for sure, compared to what it was. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. And next to the truck, yeah. A lot different than open headers, that's for sure. I think we're good. So if you want to see my best little video ever made, right here. If you want to see the one that they say is best for you, is right there. Y'all be good.